Hi Hippers, this is a video response to your Ghost Adventures Live YouTube video. My wife and I also watched the Ghost Adventure Live show, well, live. We actually really enjoyed it. I was also really disappointed regarding Robert Bess. I really didn't think he was on the up and up anyway, especially with that stupid plastic machine on wheels with a siren. You could tell just by the way he was carrying himself that he really wasn't a trustworthy individual. The one thing that I noticed about Robert Bess, especially in the beginning, was that he was there to make a name for himself. Apparently, that bot that he calls it was experimental. I'm sorry, I just have to laugh. And he was there to make a name for himself. I mean, he was claiming that machine was supposed to attract spirits or demons with the energy that the Tesla coil generated. And I guess he was just trying to make it seem as authentic as possible. Maybe he's looking for funding. Who knows? Who can say for sure? I mean, you could tell the first time that he actually tossed it. You could just tell just by the way his arm was outstretched and just by the way his wrist flipped itself forward. Nothing pulled it off his hands. And you could tell that he was just doing it for not only for dramatic impact, but he was also trying to sell his product. And I think that's what it was, a product. He was trying to promote it to the paranormal investigating field. And he failed miserably. I don't think he was expecting any of the IR cameras to be on him when he threw that device across the hallway. And I am really happy, that Zach approached him at the end of the filming of the show. Well, actually, when they came out of the lunatic asylum anyway, before the medical center, that they questioned him about that. I mean, we all know that Jason and Grant were torn to shreds regarding the coat tug incident. And, well, as we both know, Ghost Hunters Taps didn't do a live Halloween special this year, did they? I wonder why. But anyways, to stay on track, I was really happy to see that they approached, Robert Bess about it. I really am. It just goes to show that Zach and his crew are really trying to keep their show as serious as possible, and I really do like that. But to comment on the show itself, I really did appreciate them playing back EVP recordings during the live show. Jason and Grant would never do that. They would point at things and claim that they heard things, but you never heard it yourself during any of the live shows. But at least when Zach and the others would do an EVP session, they would play it back, and you could hear, in most cases, disembodied voices. Now, as for the Constantines, there's information all over the net regarding them, and apparently they've been involved in some pretty shady practices in the past. And the one thing I did notice about the Constantines was that every time they played back their recorders, everything to them seemed to be a disembodied voice. There were, I think it was the medical building. They played back the recorders, and there were a couple things on their recorders that it didn't even sound like a voice or anything disembodied. It just sounded like background noise, and they were still trying to claim it was a disembodied voice. And I was, at that point, it just seemed like they were just overplaying it a little bit too much. So I just pretty much dismissed anything from them. I believe what my own ears hear. And, when Zach and his crew play back their recorders and you hear them asking questions, and then right afterwards you could hear as plain as day, a voice that wasn't there when they first asked, answering their questions. I mean, it did lend some credibility to the show. I mean, it was live. The evidence was being played back as it was happening, and they caught things on camera as it happened. And, you know, I was reading on the internet today on like, you know, like the travelchannel.com, and there are people who are bashing them, saying that Zach is a spaz case and he's running around like a lunatic and, you know, and all this other stuff. And yeah, he is a little hyperactive. But I do appreciate their straightforwardness and their style when it comes to investigating. I think the coat tug incident during the Ghost Hunter Halloween special really left a bad taste in, you know, everyone's mouths. And I also believe that because of that, that is one of the reasons why Zach approached Robert Bess, you know, after they left the main asylum building. I I think they're afraid that it's going to leave a negative mark on their reputation. And there are people on the internet now who are claiming that it's going to. And I think that's a little ridiculous. I mean, you know, when everyone caught Grant faking that hood tug with his jacket, I mean, no one, I mean, Jason didn't approach Grant. I mean, they try to sweep it under the rug. I mean, Zach approached Robert Best live on television during their broadcast. I mean, you have to give the guy credit for at least doing that, you know? And even if this Robert Best comes forward and tries to claim that he had an agreement with Zach, you know, to fake that so-called toss in the hallway regarding the EMF meter, I mean, I don't think that's going to really hold any credence. And I say that because before Robert Best and his stupid machine on wheels even rolled up there to the I think it was the I don't know, second or third floor, I believe it was. You know, they were already uncovering incredible evidence. They really didn't need him or that machine. It was an experiment anyway. So I just think that Robert Best was trying to one up everyone, including Zach and his crew, and he's trying to sell a product. That's the impression that I got anyway. He kept mentioning that it was an experimental machine, and he built it from scratch, and you know, and he was, you know, that he's a paranormal investigator. You could tell that he was trying to market this thing, and I think he just tried to do it for added effect, and he just wasn't expecting to get caught, and he did. So, anyway, maybe Robert Best should team up with Jason and Grant. They probably would make a great team, I think. You know. Anyways, I enjoyed your video, hippers. Keep them up. Okay, this is Neo from the Open Minded Chronicles. I'll talk to you later.